welcome back to Mastering MMA with Coach Lee. I got Alan here again. Today we are going to be going over a viewer request for defending against elbows on the ground. So we're going to go into this a little bit. If you like what's coming out in this video, definitely please hit like for me here. It'll help me out a lot. So we're going to start out with Alan in my guard. All right. So here's a good place for him to ground and pound. I usually tell people to use that to work up in your hierarchy of positions when you're grappling, and even if strikes are involved. A lot of times I'll tell them, to hit them a couple times, then use that split second when they're thinking about getting hit to start to pass. But some people like to sit here and just ground and pound from here. So in general, if I get double wrist control, he can still roll his elbows over the top, right? Yeah. If he brings his hand back to him, now his elbow is free to move without any restriction there. So when I'm in here, right, and in general, I like to grab wrist control and head control, right? I get my nice big hook here. So when he starts to ground and pound, right, if he's trying to roll this elbow, what I usually do is as this comes up, I'll release, and then I kind of like just cross his forearm with this, right? So then he can't elbow me very well. So he goes to elbow, go ahead, and I'll just kind of do this, and I'll just frame it out like I would his body, if I'm looking to escape a position. So that leads into he can throw punches at that point, but it'll keep me from eating this elbow. So as I'm here, right, I've got this. He goes to roll to do that. I'll kind of frame this, and if he pulls his hand out, which is exactly what he did, and that's a very common reaction, I'll go into this where I was talking about in another ground and pound video, is I'll trap here. And I like this a lot. So the other thing I'll do is if he starts, like if I'm not here and he starts to go to elbow, is I'll just kind of like make a C grip in his bicep, right? If I can catch right here, or even if I end up in here, right now he can't elbow me. Right, go ahead and elbow me with that. Right, it's not happening. And then once I can get this trapped, now I'm in a pretty good position. Right, I yank it over that shin, and I've eliminated that arm as a striking option. If he's just kind of hanging out here, I can start to attack this other arm. If he starts to pull this away, right, I can go right into my triangles. Lots of fun stuff there. So in general, that's what I'm doing from guard inside. So there's a couple different side controls here that he can start elbowing from. In general, I'm not going to worry about this one too much. I can kind of clamp it in here if I need to, but he's not going to do too much damage elbowing me in the sides and the hips and ribs and stuff here. He can if I let him get away with it long enough, but I'm not just going to lay here while he's doing that. If I need to address it, say maybe I've broken a rib earlier in the fight or something, I need to address it, usually I'll just kind of clamp him down here, right? And it makes it hard for him to free this elbow to start attacking. So you can go ahead and start to the bottom, like to attack my ribs. Right, I'll just kind of hug this in here. Right, makes it difficult for him to do. So this shoulder here, if I'm worried about him going up to ground and pound, like if I feel him start to posture up, I can always clamp on this, and that's when I'll use that split second to start to frame. So I'll come here, right? So go ahead and start to pull up the elbow. I'll come here and I'll kind of trap that. And as he's fighting, it lets me slide through here. Right now I've got this frame in place. I can not worry about this elbow at this time. As he's still fighting to pull this up, I'll switch my hips and I'll make space. And now I'm out of elbow range. Right? He can try to elbow me all at once there. It's not going to happen. So I'll do it a little bit slower. Right, we're kind of here. I feel like he's coming up to elbow this. I'll just grab the back of this tricep so he can't clear his hand. Right? If he can't get this hand in front of my face, he can't elbow me. Right? Go ahead and try to elbow me here. Right? So while we're playing this game, I sneak this in front. I lock on his scapula with my fingers, and I use this to frame. So now at this point, I want him to try to posture up an elbow. So as he's fighting, I'll let go of this arm, and I'll kind of push up at the same time. And this creates all this space. I frame my forearm on his hip, and I shrink away, and I make this space here. And now I've moved him way back. Right now he's not elbowing me with this. And I'm probably going to start to attack this arm right here. Nice arm bars here. or, you know, whatever I need to do at that point. Let's get back here a little bit. So the other place in side control that happens is here. Offensively, I like doing this a lot. I'll come in here and I'll slide this knee right up beside my opponent's head, right? So then they can't really turn without setting up. So if they set up, I shoot my leg underneath of them, and now they're deep in this, right? This is a horrible spot if you're on the bottom. Once they get this leg under here, he's got chokes, he's got all kinds of options here, and I'm just kind of stuck, right? If he reaches, go ahead and put your forearm underneath the back of my neck. Now turn your hand. Yeah. So right here, if he starts turning his hips around my head, he starts working into a choke here. You can see where it's starting to force this over. He's got my hip blocked here, so I can't chase him. Right? He can choke me right here. And that's all from me ending up in like his hip pocket here. You look over there. That's from me ending up in his hip pocket. So if this knee's right here and I start elbowing here a couple times and they try to turn and they can't, so they lift their head up, well, then I just push them on up into that pocket. Right? Now I've got very little space to move, and he can conserve energy just by wedging me in here. Right? I'm literally sitting on two wedges, which has me pretty trapped at this point. And like I say, he can start working on chokes. He can start attacking the arm. There's all kinds of stuff he can do here. And I'm very limited in my mobility. So if I'm in this spot and I do feel them slide up here, right, I don't want to pick my head up. That's a bad option. What I will do is, if he's just kind of like sliding this for this little elbow here, is I will either, one, as his hand goes out, I'll catch him in his armpit and I turn into him. And notice how I'm locking my arm out? Bring his arm back for me. Right? I'm making him work against my bone structure by doing this. So as it slides out, because he's deep here, right? I can't get this frame yet. So as he's sliding out the elbow, I'll remove that frame. I just start coming here, right? And sometimes I can work this into a sweep. Sometimes I use this, I'll switch, and then I'll make space here and shrimp, right? So I'm going to use this big space I made just for to get a better position in the hierarchy of positions, to move from being in bottom of side control to a half guard or a butterfly guard, sometimes even full guard. So the other thing that happens here sometimes is he might just do like little short ones, right? Instead of getting real far. And if he's doing real short ones, it's really hard for me to push because he's strong. His elbow hasn't gotten too far away from his body, right? The closer your elbow is to your hip, the stronger he's going to be here. So if he's trying to hit me hard and his elbow gets further away, right, now I can lock this out and I'm going to win this battle, right? Because he's pushing back against bone structure. But if he's staying nice and tight and just kind of banging, in general, what I'll do is I'll catch his bicep and I'll just keep my head on it. So try to elbow me short here. Right? And so as this is working, notice how it's getting, my head's getting further and further this way. At whatever point, I can slide this in for framework, or I can scoot back this way and start to do this type of thing and get back to that first escape that I was showing. So if we're in here and he's just doing real short ones and I can't really push this away, I'll pull it to my head and I'll kind of try to keep my ear, my jawline, whatever, attached to his tricep here. Because if he can't make space, he can't strike. I mean, I guess he can a little bit, but it's nothing that's ever going to do any kind of real damage. So as long as I'm staying connected, then go ahead and try to elbow me here. Right? Look, I just made a frame and I've got pressure on this. We're in a pretty good spot here. Now, as soon as I make this, I'm gone. Right? We're getting into a better spot. So that's two different spots where elbows are pretty common. We can do half guard too. So if he's in the top of half guard, a lot of times here people set up, right? A lot of your ground pound comes from this type of positioning, him setting up, throwing, dropping elbows, whatever he wants to do. I like to, are we getting the screen good here? So when we're here, when he postures up, I like to insert this knee, right? So at this point, elbow me, right? I can use this distance to control. So I usually insert this knee, but if he's staying close enough where I can't get this, and he kind of postured up here trying to elbow, it's the same concept as a guard, right? I'm just going to follow his bicep here. I've got my framework, and then I'm going to try to work to get to this. This is kind of a nice little thing that happens here sometimes too, is people get frustrated, and they'll try to throw or hit hard with that at my head. So when this comes, I scoop, and then I can start to attack the back. Whenever his elbow crosses my center line, which is somewhere about here, right? So as soon as his elbow comes to here, it exposes the back for me. So I can start to do all my attacks, my half guard attacks that take me to the back or end up countering his counters, which happens a lot too. But so in general, when I'm getting a half guard, if I can get this knee, Z guard, knee shield, whatever you want to call it, if I can get this in here, whether it's a high one or a low one, I can usually make space where he can't elbow me, right? So that completely eliminates that threat. Like, he might be elbowing my thigh or my hip or something, but I'm not too worried about that, right? If he's digging in on this, I can always change the distance and boom, right? We can catch him real good there. We've got this type of stuff too, and I can control the distance here, right? Because I've got his hips locked in here with my legs. So that's what I do there. And then mount. So if you get the mount, in general, I'm usually looking to grab a hand or something. But if he starts rolling elbows, right, I'm in a bad spot. I got to get out of here quick. But say I grab this hand, he starts rolling elbows just like you would in guard, right? It's a bad spot. I'm probably going to eat some. I shouldn't have gotten mounted in the first place, right? That's kind of my punishment. I've let him get mount, so he's going to rain hell on me. So expect to eat some. But I'm working towards getting my shrimps or getting him off balance. So a lot of times what I'll do here is I'll grab one wrist, and if they start to throw elbows, whichever one it is, right, I'm going to avoid. In general, I'm going to get this one coming next, right? That'll come, and I'll kind of block it. And then when this one comes again, I'll do this, right? I'll post it up. So at this point, like, he really can't armbar me, right? You're going to try to spin around there for the armbar, right? Because I've got good control of his body, because I've got his wrist and his bicep here, and my elbow hasn't crossed, right? So as he tries to turn, right, I've got control of him because my elbow hasn't crossed his center line. So that's key. If I do this, like right here, if I do this and I try to push this way far away, now he can armbar the crap out of me. Boom. It's going to happen quick. So I got to keep my elbow from crossing the center line. That's my goal there. And let's go ahead and show. And when I'm talking about that, I mean, like, if I cut him right here, if I'm here and he goes to armbar, right, he's not going to get the angle he needs to finish the armbar. But if I am here, it's easy for him to armbar and take that. So come back in here. Once I have this, right, I can start, whenever I want, I can set my feet up to hit these types of escapes. Or I do this and he frees this hand. I come right back in and start in my shrimps. Right, we've got lots of escapes there. So that's what we got on defending against elbows for ground and pound. If you like this, please click that button for me. If you think you're going to use it, hit that like button for me. If you haven't, get in the Facebook group, the Mastering MMA Facebook group. Lots of memes, videos from here, technique videos from other places I post in there from time to time. You're more than welcome to post anything MMA related in there. We have fight news, things like that. Lots of memes. It's a pretty good time. That's where we do most of our giveaways too. So if you're in the group, you're already one step ahead on giveaways. And please share this video all over social media. Let's spread the news about this, help out as many people as we can with their fight game. Got anything to add to this?
No, that's all.
Sweet. We'll catch you next time on Mastering MMA with Coach Lee.